Good afternoon. Today we'll take up Unit 10 of Logistic and Supply Chain Management. Today's topic is Transportation Mix. Now, transportation mix in supply chain management refers to a combination of different modes of transportation used in movement to move goods from suppliers to the manufacturers, then to the distributors, and finally to the customers. This mix typically includes options such as road, trucking, rail, water, and sometimes even pipeline transportations. Depending on the factor like cost, speed, distance, and the nature of the goods being transported. Each mode offers its own advantages and disadvantages, and the optimal mix often depends on the specific requirements of the supply chain, such as delivery schedule, geographical consideration, cost considerations. Now, transportation happens to be the most fundamental part of strategic logistic management. Transportation cost includes all costs associated with the movements of product from one location to another. The average transport cost ranges from 5 to 6% of the recommended retail price of the product. Transportation is the movement of products material from one area to another area. So, as I already told you, transportation mix is the combination transportation mix is the combination in a supply chain management to move goods from one location to another locations, that from the supplier's location to the manufacturer locations, on the manufacturer's location to the finally to the customers. So, and this while transporting it costs to the organizations. So transportation happens to be the fundamental part of strategic logistic management, and transport costs include all costs associated with movements of products from one location to another location. Assume the movement of kerosene oil from one of the central depots in central India to northern sector, the Jammu and Kashmir, a place called Kupwara. The initial movement is by rail to the nearest railhead, that is Jammu. From there, the bulk is transported to the BPL lorries and moved to the forward depots by road. Depending upon where it has to go, the same is further broken at depots and distributed as per demand and requirement to the forward areas, either by trucks or animal transport, human labor, or by airdrops. A versatile mix of transport system, which is unique in being. One got to see, to believe it and experience it, to realize it too. Such a shift thus takes time, but within the available resources, the time constraint, this the best that can be organized to maintain even a logistic chain down the end users. Now, what is the role of transportation? Transportation plays a crucial role in supply chain by facilitating the movements of goods from manufacturer to the distributors, to the distributor to the retailers, and ultimately to the customers. And while you're talking about the role of transportation, there are certain key aspects which we should discuss in the supply chain. First one is logistic planning. Transportation is an integral part of logistic planning, involving the coordination of various modes of transportation to ensure the efficient movements of goods. Then different modes such as rail, road, sea are often utilized in supply chain based on the nature of the product, distance, cost consideration, and speed requirement. Transportation cost are a significant components of overall supply chain cost. Company must optimize transportation routes and modes to minimize expenses while meeting delivery timelines. Lead time and timeliness. Efficient transportation helps in reducing lead times, ensuring that product reach their destination in a timely manner, and this is crucial for maintaining inventory levels and meeting customers' demand. Many supply chain leverage international transportation, combining different modes seamlessly. For example, goods may be transported by a truck to a rail truck terminal and then by train to a distribution center. Technology plays a vital role in managing transportation in supply chain. Tracking and visibility tools, GPS, route optimization software enhance efficiency and provide real-time insights. Transportation involves inherent risks such as delays, disruptions, and damages. Supply chain professionals must implement risk management strategy to mitigate these challenges. Increasingly, companies are focusing on sustainable transportation practices to minimize environmental impact. This includes using fuel-efficient vehicles, optimizing routes, and exploring alternative energy sources. Transportation operation must comply with various regulations and standards, such as safety regulation, customer requirement, international trade rules. Effective communication and collaboration among all stakeholders in the supply chain, including manufacturers, carriers, and distributors, are essential for smooth transportation operation. In summary, transportation is a crucial link in the supply chain, impacting overall efficiency, customer satisfaction, and cost effectiveness of the distribution process. Successful supply chain management requires careful planning, integration of technology, and continuous optimization of transportation strategies. Considerations influencing transport customer communication. In order to obviate delays in transportation, handling of logistics, both the suppliers and distributors are relying more and more on electronic transport system, IT, and the internet. It will help in considerable reduction in time delays and effect better cooperation between the chains. Market coverage. Transportation cost influence the size of the markets covered in a big way. The characteristics are cost, flexibility, reliability, and availability. The product per se will influence the economies of decision. A low volume and high value product will able to support higher cost, which means extended delivery distance and increase in delivery frequency. Sourcing decision. The geographical dimension of the source markets can be influenced by low transportation system. Reliable bulk fish services could extend to the source market. Manufacturing cost of transporting has a direct bearing on the location of manufacturing market center. That is why extraction transportation mix 197 best units are close to the source of raw materials and products related to the customer satisfaction are closer home, near the customer to the off center. Pricing decision, transportation happens to be the important components of product cost. Therefore, selection of appropriate transportation modes will have a direct bearing on the product cost per se, with more relevance to export. Increase in transportation cost increases the product pricing. Customer service decision, both customer service policy and transportation decision go hand in hand. Hence, one cannot be considered in isolation of the other. That means, moreover, the type of market will also dictate the decision and will vary considerably. Therefore, it's pertinent to overrule the cost factor while servicing the medical customer, since speed is more important than cost in selecting a transport mode. So, customer service is more important here. Both customer service policy and transportation decision go hand in hand, hence cannot be considered in isolation of the other. The type of market will also dictate the decision and will vary considerably. Now, an effective selection system. How do you select a particular transportation system? Now, stage 1, identification of those factors affecting the choice of transportation selection. The factors may be cost, speed, reliability. Then stage 2, categorize the significant factors and identify the potential risk associated with this fact. Stage 3, determination of the distribution network depending upon the number and size of the depots. Then application of matrix analysis for selecting right transport, and measure and monitor cost continuously. Before we move further, yes. Now, there are 5 stages in a transportation selective system. Identification of the factors affecting the choice of the transportation selection. Categorize the significant factors and identify the potential risks which are there. Determination of the distribution network depending upon the number and size of the depots. Number 4 is matrix analysis. Number 5 is measure and monitor the cost. Transportation is a vital link in the supply chain, and transportation is considered a vital link in the supply chain. It plays a crucial role in allowing smooth flow of goods from manufacturers to the end users. And there are different reasons why transportation is essential. So, if you see the supply chain, transportation is the vital link which connects the manufacturers to the end users. And we can consider what are the factors which are generally very important, considered to be essential, for which transportation is called a vital link. First is connectivity. Transportation network connect various elements of supply chain, allowing for the movement of goods between suppliers, manufacturers, warehouses, distributors, and retailers. The connectivity is fundamental to the entire logistic process. So, transportation networks connect the various, we have read in the supply chain there are various elements such as starting from the suppliers to the manufacturer, the warehouse and distributors. And transportation is called a vital link because it creates a network. It creates a network between the elements. And the connectivity is fundamental to the entire logistic process. Timely delivery of goods is critical for maintaining efficient inventory levels and meeting customer demand. Transportation system enable companies to fulfill orders promptly and keep up with market demands. Then customer satisfaction, reliable transportation contributes significant to the customer satisfaction. When the transportation is reliable, it ensures the products are delivered in right time and in good condition, enhancing the overall customer experience. Efficient transportation helps in minimizing inventory holding costs. Product can be moved quickly through supply chain, reducing the need for extra stockpiling and associated expenses. So, when transportation is efficient, that means the goods can move easily and quickly from within the supply chain elements. So, there is no need for excess stockpiling and the cost of inventory is reduced considerably. Global supply chain. In today's globalized economy, transportation facilitates the movement of goods across borders. It allows companies to source materials and products from different parts of the world, contributing to the complexity and interconnectedness of global supply chain. Now, supply chain now operates on a global platform. It is not confined to a particular country or particular region. So, it allows company to source material and products from different parts of the world. So here, transportation plays an important role in the connectivity of the global supply chain. Cost management. Transportation costs are significant components of overall supply chain expenses. Effective transportation management, including route optimization, mode selection, helps in controlling cost and improving the financial performance of the supply chain. Transportation planning involves considering and mitigating risks such as delays, disruptions, and damages. Having contingency plans and visibility into the transportation process helps in managing and minimizing these risks. A well-designed transportation system provides flexibility to adapt to changes in demand, supply, or market conditions. It allows companies to reconfigure their distribution networks and respond to dynamic business environment. So, here is highlights that a well-designed transportation provides flexibility to adopt in changes. That means a transportation system is ready to adopt changes in demand and supply and market conditions. It can adapt to any change situations and change environment. Advanced technologies are GPS tracking, real-time monitoring, analytics enhance the efficiency and visibility of transportation operations. Technology integration allows for better decision making and proactive problem solving. As sustainability becomes a growing concern, transportation also plays a role in adopting eco-friendly practices. Companies are exploring ways to reduce the environmental impact of transportation, such as using fuel-efficient vehicles and optimizing route. In essence, or in short, we can say that transportation acts as a linchpin in the supply chain management, connecting various elements and eliminating the seamless movements of goods. Its effectiveness directly influences the overall supply chain efficiency, cost effectiveness, and ability of business to meet customer expectations in a competitive marketplace. So, transportation acts as a linchpin in the supply chain management, connecting various elements. It connects various elements and allowing the seamless movements of goods. Now, let's discuss about warehousing. This happens to be the other important facet of logistics chain and works side by side with transportation. It is the segment of logistic function that deals with storage and handling of inventories starting from supplier's receipt to consumption point. The management of this include the maintenance of accurate and timely information relating to inventory status, its location, and its disbursement. Factors influencing the warehouse decisions are type of distribution you want to have, value of the firm, quantity and potential for obsolescence, competitiveness, and economic conditions. So, transportation and warehousing go side by side in a logistic management. It is that segment of logistic function where it deals with storage and handling of inventory starting from, suppose the materials comes from the raw materials come from the suppliers, it has to be warehouse, it has to be stored in a warehouse. And the warehouse management includes the maintenance of accurate and timely information. It should maintain accurate and timely information relating to inventory status, its location and disbursement. Now, what type of distribution, warehousing decision depends on what type of distribution the company has. Is a direct distribution system, or is a retailing system, or is go through different channels like retailers or the distributors. Then we will have different warehousing decisions. For a company which have a direct distribution, the company itself undertake the distribution, then there will be change in the value of the firm. What is the value of the firm? Quantity and potential for obsolescence. Suppose the company is prepared to take the risk of obsolescence. That means it has to store more items irrespective of whether it becomes outdated or obsolete. It doesn't matter. So quantity and potential for obsolescence. Competitiveness. Suppose you don't want to lose the goodwill of the customer, so you want to store more as an inventory. And what is the economic conditions? If there is business cycle there is a depression or there is a recession in the economy where demand is not coming, so the warehousing decision will be different, where there is a market is booming and there is a potential for high demand. So factors influencing the warehouse decisions are affected by number of factors. Warehousing performs a variety of roles as mentioned below. Material handling, consisting of receiving, storing, and shipping. Storage, this maximizes customer services by improving product and location positioning. Transfer of information, this ensures timely and accurate information on inventory status, space utilization, equipment, and manpower availability and transport capacity. Now, we should now discuss what is the effective warehousing strategy. In order to develop an effective warehousing strategy, the following has to be addressed or following has to be kept in mind. First is documentation of the existing warehouse operation. Documentation means we must keep it in writing. It may be in a computer, it may be hardware documented or kept in a file. Documentation of the storage facilities and put forth requirement over the planning and what are the requirement in the planning period for a period of 1 month or for a period of 1 year. Identify the shortfalls within the warehouse that are available, including the deficiencies. Then alternate warehousing plans to meet contingency in strategy. Suppose this warehouse plans to meet contingency, emergency requirement, selection of the best recommendation, and update the warehouse strategic plan. With that as a backdrop to our study, let us see the design and management of supply chain. Logistics happens to be the key of. Now, let's see the method of selection. The selection procedure of the transport modes could vary from simple decision, either to identify one feasible method of distribution, to follow the competitors' procedures, to a complex decision that calculates the cost incurred and produces an optimum solution. There are three potential methods. One is judgment, identification of the important factors affecting the transport problem by the transport manager and the transport mode from a list of alternatives available so that the important features of the transport requirements are met. Shortcoming are tremendous in such a process since transport is considered a service rather than a distribution system. Second one is cost trade-off. It is where the impact of transport is calculated in relation to the immediate terminal objectives and activity, and the total cost of the distribution system is optimized. This particular approach acknowledges the existence of trade-off with the number of alternative approaches in an attempt to assess the situation to minimize the total cost. Distribution models, this identify and explain the interrelationship between the components of the distribution system at various levels of daily, weekly or monthly demands. These models could be built to examine the impact of alternative transport modes and methods as either the demand changes or the components in the system change. Therefore, in order to carry out a systematic selection of the transport, a framework consists of the following stages is recommended. Stage 1, identifying the factors affecting the choice of a transport selection. Stage 2, categorizing the significant factors and identifying the potential risk. Stage 3, determining the distribution network in terms of number and size of depots, and applying the matrix analysis to select the most appropriate transport and measuring and monitoring the cost factors. Routing and scheduling in transportation. Routing and scheduling in transportation are essential components of logistic and supply chain management. This process involves determining the most efficient path and schedules for transportation goods from point of origin to the final destination. So, routing and scheduling are very important components of logistic and supply chain. Yes. Then this process involves determining the most efficient path and schedules for transporters, transporting goods from point of origin to the final destination. Let's see what you mean by routing. And routing definition says routing refers to the process of determining the optimal path or the route that a vehicle or a shipment of goods should take from starting point to the destination. What is optimal path? Optimal path is the shortest duration. It takes the shortest duration. That route that a vehicle or a shipment of goods should take from, choosing the shortest or the most effective route. When you route a product, we consider the distance first. Yes. Choosing the shortest or most cost effective route. Then the second factor we consider is time. What is the travel time from the starting to the destination? What is the traffic conditions? What is the traffic there and within this route, and the delivery deadlines? What is the deadline? Capacity, ensuring that the selected route can accommodate the volume of goods to be transported, and factoring any legal, regulatory, physical constraint on the route. Suppose some government may not allow, say, interstate movement may be prohibitory, so there may be some legal restrictions, regulatory restriction or physical constraints on the route. Suppose you take to northeast, there is some physical constraint, the roads may not be very good. So routing means the process of determining the optimal path that the vehicle goes from the starting point to the destination point. We should first While we route the product, we first take into consider distance, choosing the shortest or most cost-effective route. Considering the travel time, what is the traffic conditions, and what is delivery deadlines, and ensuring that selected routes can accommodate the volume of goods to be transported, and factoring any legal, regulatory, and physical constraints on the route. Now let's come to scheduling. Scheduling involves determining the timeline for transportation activities, including when vehicles will depart and when they will arrive at various stops and when the delivery will be made. So scheduling is nothing but it's a timetable, it's a timeline for transportation. So when the vehicles will depart from the say starting point and when they will arrive at the destination or the different destinations. Time factor consider time windows adhering to specific time frames for pickups and deliveries. Vehicle availability ensuring that vehicles are scheduled based on availability and capacity. Resource optimization maximizing the use of available resources such as vehicles and drivers. And service legal agreement meeting agreed upon delivery time commitment. So these are the factors, time windows. So while scheduling, we schedule according to the specific time frame for pickups. Suppose we have say committed to the customer that delivery should be done on Monday at a particular time period, we should schedule accordingly. Vehicle availability, then we schedule on the basis of the availability of the say vehicles and their capacity. Resource optimization, maximizing use of available resources that are used such as vehicles and drivers. We should first optimize that. And we also take into consideration the legal service level agreements. Routing and scheduling often involve optimizing algorithm and software tools to find out the most efficient and cost-effective solution. Optimization aims to minimize the transportation cost, reduce delivery times, and maximize resource utilization. So, dynamic routing and real-time adjustment. In dynamic routing, adjustments are made in real time based on changing conditions such as traffic, weather, unforeseen. So, routes may be changed on real-time basis when some contingency or some unforeseen events occur. Suppose there is an accident on the highway, the traffic is congested. So we can divert the route and go, it may be longer distance, but we can divert and reach in a shorter period of time. Suppose the weather is there is a cyclone or a flood in a particular area, we can divert, we can make a dynamic, change the route to avoid this unforeseen or inclement weather. Real-time adjustment help in adopting schedules and routes to optimize efficiency and meet delivery. Why do make real-time adjustment? To meet the delivery commitments. Because we have committed to the customers to deliver the products on a particular time, and to meet that commitments, we generally adopt dynamic routing or real-time adjustment. Technology integration, advanced technologies plays a crucial role in routing and scheduling. GPS, route optimization software, real-time tracking system provide visibility into the transportation process. Automated systems helps in making quick decisions, adjusting routes on the fly, and notifying stakeholders about any changes. Cost consideration, routing and scheduling decisions impact transportation cost. Companies strive to find a balance between minimizing cost and meeting customer service requirements. Consideration of fuel cost, labor cost, vehicle maintenance, and other operational expenses is integral to the decision-making process. Compliance and regulation, routing and scheduling must comply with legal and regulatory requirements, including vehicle weight limits, driving hours, and any restriction on certain routes or areas. Effective routing and scheduling contribute to the overall efficiency of transportation operations, reduce cost, improve customer satisfaction, and enhance competitiveness of business in the supply chain. As the technology continues to advance, integration of artificial intelligence, machine learning further enhances the capabilities of routing and scheduling system. So, in today's world, in the present world, the routing and scheduling system have become very effective and say very effective and logical when because of the technological advancement and the technology has integrated with AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Transportation costs are significant components of overall expenses in logistic and supply chain management. So, when you move goods from one place to another place, there is always a cost of the vehicle, cost of the driver, cost of loading, cost of unloading. So, this consists of various expenditure associated with moving goods from one location to other. Several factors influence the transportation cost. Mode of transportation, the chosen mode of transport, road, rail, air, sea, significantly impacts the cost. Each mode is own structure, with air fees generally being more expensive than ocean fees, for example. But here depends on if you are sending the goods to the outside the country, then your option is rail, your option is sea or air. But if a product is voluminous, is a big product, is the only option is left is sea, isn't it? So the distance goods need to travel directly affect the transport. Yes. So distance is a function of the transportation cost is a function of distance. Longer the distance we move, generally, if you send the goods to a longer distance, it will cost you high due to fuel consumption, labor and maintenance. Suppose if I send goods from Orissa to say northeast, it will be cost you high. The transportation cost will be high if I send to the neighboring states like say Andhra Pradesh or to say West Bengal, because in the latter case the fuel consumption will be high, the labor cost will be high, the maintenance cost will be high. So generally the distance say directly affect the transportation cost. Weight and volume, the weight and volume of the cargo being transported influence the transportation cost. Heavier and bulkier shipments may incur higher fees, especially in modes like air fees, where weight is a critical factor. Yes, in air, in bulkier, especially in modes like air fees, weight is a crucial. Transportation infrastructure, the state of the transportation infrastructure, including roads, railway, ports, airports, can impact cost. Well-maintained and efficient infrastructure can contribute to lower transport cost. Fluctuation in fuel price have a direct impact on transportation cost, especially for modes reliant on fossil fuels such as road and air transport. So, transport mode efficiency. The efficiency of the chosen transport mode, including the speed of delivery and reliability of the schedules, can influence the cost. Faster but more expensive modes may be chosen for time-sensitive shipments. So generally, whereas we are more concerned about the on-time delivery, time is an important factor in supply chain. We may choose a faster, say, mode rather than faster and more expensive mode rather than a slower and less expensive mode. And route optimization, optimizing transportation routes using technology and software can contribute to the cost reduction by minimizing travel distance, reducing fuel consumption, and improving overall efficiencies. Compliance with regulations and standards such as safety requirement, emission standards, customer procedures can impact cost. Non-compliance may result in fines or delays. Labor costs, including driver wages, other personnel involved in the transportation process, contribute significantly to overall transportation expenses. So labor cost is an essential part of the transportation cost. Insurance and risk management. Cost associated with insurance coverage of goods in transit, as well as risk management strategy to mitigate potential losses are important considerations. Technology and automation. Investment in technology such as GPS tracking, route optimization software, automation can impact cost by improving efficiency, reducing manual labor requirements. Sustainability initiative. Companies increasingly consider the environmental impact of transportations. While sustainable practices may involve additional upfront cost, they can lead to long-term savings and improve corporate social responsibility. Channelization and multimodal transportation operation. Channelization and multimodal are concepts related to logistics and transport that involves movement of goods through various channels and modes. Let's explore each of them. Channelization in logistics refer to process of directing the flow of goods through specific distribution channels. It involves designing and managing the pathways or channels through which product move from one point of origin to the final destinations. So, channelization and multimodal transport operation are concepts related to logistic and transportation. And these are concerned with optimizing the movements of goods through various channels and modes. So, channelization is defined as channelization in logistics refers to the process of directing the flow of goods through specific distribution channels. That means in logistics refer to the process of directing the flow of goods through specific distribution channels. Channelization, distribution channels involve selecting and organizing the various distribution channels available such as direct sales, wholesaler, retailer, e-commerce platform. Now, e-commerce platform has become very important. Now, traditional channels are, say, wholesalers and retailers or direct sales, like Eureka Probes does direct sales. Optimization, the goal is to optimize the flow of goods through these channels, ensuring efficiency and cost effectiveness. So, channelization objective is, the goal is to optimize. That means the product should flow easily, seamlessly through these channels, which will ensure efficiency and cost effectiveness. Channelization aims to maximize the reach of the products to the target customers while minimizing the time and cost involved in the distribution process. Market presence, it also about establishing a strong market presence by strategically selecting and managing distribution channels to effectively reach the target market. Inventory management, proper channelization helps in managing inventory levels along the supply chain, avoiding overstock or stockouts. The use of technology such as inventory management system, order taking is often employed to streamline the channelization process. Multimodal transportation operation refer to use of multiple transportation modes like road, rail, sea, air within a single supply chain or logistic operation. It involves seamlessly integrating these modes to ensure efficient and smooth movements of goods. Multimodal is very important because in a supply chain, when goods move from one place to another place, it sometimes not possible to transport the goods in a single mode. Therefore, we have to use multiple transportation modes. Multiple, in the first, I have given you an example how the oil is transported in multimodal manner. Now, mode integration. Mode integration means different transportation modes are integrated. Multimodal transport integrate different transportation modes to capitalize on their respective strength and optimize the overall transportation process. Then flexibility, it offers flexibilities by allowing companies to choose the most appropriate mode of transport for each leg of journey, considering factors like cost, speed, types of goods. Intermodal transport is a subset of multimodal transport where standardized containers are easily transported between different modes such as from ship to truck to train. So intermodal transport, flexibility, mode integration. Then efficiency. Multimodal transport aims to enhance efficiency by reducing transit times, minimizing cost, improving overall supply chain performance. It also helps in risk management. Using multiple, say, transportation modes provide a level of risk management. If one mode is disrupted due to weather or strike, the good can still move using an alternative mode. Sustainability. In some cases, multimodal transport is adopted to achieve sustainability goals by selecting modes that are more environmentally friendly for specific legs of the journey. In technology and communication, information technology and communication systems play a crucial role in coordinating and managing multimodal transport operations, ensuring real-time visibility and the control. Now, what are the tools and techniques of reducing cost? As a logistic manager, one has to contemplate considerably on correct selection of the fleet, which will further aid in reducing cost and indirectly help in reducing the cost of the product to the end users. The following functions are the domain of the logistic manager: negotiating the routes and the rates, selecting the route and the fleet, evaluation of the carrier performance, analyze the transport cost and services, operating company owned means of freight and transportation, filing loss and damage claims, auditing freight bills. Ultimate choice depends upon such as factor as financial policy, customer service policy, the control required by the company and the competition intensity of the markets. Actually, the entire selection process is very complex and should aim at identifying the right attributes required to implement the company's customer service policy. The main attributes are current performance as regards delivery, accuracy, and reliability. Responsibility acceptance to guarantee the service product offer. Offering flexibility so as to respond to criticalities and emergencies. Information for purpose of controlling. Financial stability to ensure continuity of service and for upgradation of equipment. Integration to maximum into customer business, sharing confidence, problems, and capabilities. Intermodals refer to a transportation and logistic strategies that involve the seamless integration of multiple modes within a single unified system. It focuses on different and coordinated movements of goods using various transportation modes such as road, rail, sea, air without any interruption in the supply chain. Yes. Now, the intermodal transportation involves the use of standardized containers that can be easily transported between different modes of transport, such as ships. So they use a standard containers and the materials comes with the that can fit different modes of transport such as ship, trains and trucks. These are the key elements. Containerization, standardized containers are a central components of intermodalism. These containers can be seamlessly transported between different modes, allowing for smooth transitions of goods without the need of unload and reload at each interchanging. That means the goods should not be loaded from the ship and and again reload in the trains, or it can be directly the container can directly move from the ship to the train or from the train to the truck. Efficiency and flexibility. Intermodalism aims to enhance the overall efficiency and flexibility of transportation by leveraging the strength of different modes. It allows business to choose the most cost-effective, time-efficient modes for each segment of the journey. Then, reduce handling cost. The use of standardized containers and ability to transfer them easily between modes result in reduced handling cost. That means each time we cannot load and reload. This minimizes the need for labor-intensive processes associated with the loading and unloading at multiple points. So, labor-intensive process is reduced. The labor cost will be ultimately be reduced because at each stage we need not, or each point we need not load and unload. Intermodal transportation can lead to cost saving through economics of scale, optimization of routes, and improved utilization of transportation assets. Environmental consideration. Intermodalism is often seen as a more environmentally friendly transportation solution. By optimizing routes and reducing the overall distance travel, it can contribute to lower fuel consumption and emissions. Reliability and redundancy. Intermodals provides a level of reliability and redundancy in transportation. If one mode is disrupted due to weather, strikes or other factor, good can still move using an alternative modes, minimizing the risk of supply chain disruption. Technology integration. Information technology plays a crucial role in intermodal transportation. Tracking and communication system enable real-time visibility into the movements of goods, helping in efficient coordination and management. Global supply chain intermodalism is especially relevant in the context of global supply chain where goods may need to traverse long distance and cross international borders It facilitates the smooth transition of goods between various transportation networks. Infrastructure development. Successful implementation of intermodalism often requires investment in infrastructure such as intermodal terminals and facilities. Effective transportation management involves several key components including order management, load planning, and follow-up. These elements are integral to ensuring smooth and efficient transportation process within the broader supply chain. Here are overview of each aspect. Order management in transportation refers to the process of receiving, processing, and managing customer order. It enables the coordination of info related to shipments, delivery requirements, and customer expectations. The key activities are order capture, capturing the order details, including the product specifications, quantity, delivery dates, and destination. Order processing, verifying and processing the orders, checking for inventory availability, and determining the most suitable transportation options. Documentation, generating necessary documentation such as shipping labels, packing lists, and invoices to accompany the orders during the transportation. Load planning involves organizing and optimizing shipments to make the most efficient use of available transportation resources, including trucks, containers, and other modes of transportation. Then, route optimization. Planning is the most efficient routes of transportation to minimize cost, reduce transit times, and improve overall efficiencies. Is load consolidation, combining multiple shipments into a single load to maximize the capacity of transportation vehicles, reduce per unit transportation cost. Weight distribution, ensuring that loads are distributed evenly to comply with legal weight limits and ensure safe transportations. Load completion refer to the execution of planned transportation activities, including physical movements of goods, loading and unloading process. The key activities in load completion is loading, coordinating the loadings and unloading of goods at various points, such as warehouse, distribution centers, and transportation hubs. Another key aspect is real-time tracking, employing real-time tracking system to monitor the movements of shipment and ensuring they adhere to the planned schedule. Inventory updates, updating the inventory system to reflect the status of the goods as they move through the transportation process. Follow-up involves the post-shipment activities and communication to ensure customer satisfaction, address any issues that may have arisen during the transportations, and gather feedback for continuous improvement. The key elements are delivery confirmation, confirming the successful delivery and updating relevant systems with delivery details. Addressing any issues or discrepancies that may have occurred during transportation, such as damaged goods or delays. Customer communication, keeping customer informed about the status of their shipment, providing tracking information and addressing any concerns or inquiries. Then we'll wind up with futuristic direction in transportation. Carrier relationship management, speedy movement across the globe have also given rise to lack of coordination and planning, resulting in criticalities too. However, through carrier relationship management programs, we can bind the transporter and those working with it under one roof and enterprise. So there is a lot of courses are coming on transportation management, carrier relationship management programs, corporate traffic councils have also come up. Those help in bringing together all personals working in the area of transportation within an enterprise. The work of the traffic council is to set corporate transportation policy and explore the opportunities for taking the advantage of the transportation spending across the corporation. Now, driver quality improvements in drivers, better environment, better wages will help in big way to improve the drivers' capability. Joint procurement, significant cost reduction can be carried out if purchases and negotiation of transportation services consolidated across both inbound and outbound transportation activity. Logistic compliance and security officer forming the chief logistic security officer will enable the company to cope with logistic law and to anticipate security lapses within the logistic framework.